There's no question on this one. The research is very strong. You've got to be working on your strengths. And really, this goes to the heart of what it means to be an essentialist. Because what we're really talking about is to become less of who you are not and more of who you really are. This is the narrowing, focusing process. It's that we don't have to be all things to all people. We've got to focus on the things that we are truly built to do, and then to do those superbly well. It's the right way to be thinking about this, because I think you just can't really be an essentialist all on your own. Maybe you could, but I think it's the hardest way to think of it. So the place to start is to maybe read the book, but get a couple of people around you to do it as well. Because then you become aware together of how non-essential our current cultures normally are inside of organizations. So start in a small team, learn the language, and then hold each other accountable and challenging each other. Well, what is the one big thing we're going to do? And what can we say no to in order to achieve that one really important ideal? Well, I think that everybody struggles with the idea of work-life balance. This is pretty universal. But what I think is interesting about that phrase is that people never mean, well, I'm spending too much time with my life and with my family and not enough time with work. What we mean in that phrase is I'm spending too much time with work. And I think that work, especially today, is so ubiquitous. It follows us home, right? It's in your phone, it's in your computer. It follows you wherever you are. So I think the place to begin is to set boundaries. So even though this sounds pretty extreme, I think you ought to take 15 hours that you separate off for your significant other, and then another 15 hours for children. 8 hours every night for sleep, which leaves you the time that you can spend in work or other events. But I think the order really matters. Certainly I found, as I've tried to do it myself, it's helped a lot to keep work in its place. I still have to make a contribution there, I still want to make a difference there, but I think it's protected because I'm able to spend the time with the people that matter most first. Almost everyone you speak to, no matter if they're in a big organization, a medium, a small, or a solo entrepreneur, feels that they have the reasons not to be an essentialist. But I think that whatever the size of the organization, you still benefit from getting absolutely crystal clear on the one big thing you're trying to accomplish. So you have a single essential intent that gives you direction about what you're trying to do and what you're not trying to do. And many of the sort of small to medium-sized companies I've worked with have been able to eliminate a lot of nonsense and a lot of clutter and a lot of good things that are keeping them back just by getting resolutely clear on the one big thing they're really trying to pursue. This is where I'd begin. The book that I wrote isn't called Noism. It's not about simply saying no to your boss or no to your boss's boss. And that can be, I think, career limiting if we're not careful about it. But that doesn't mean we simply have to go to the other extreme and simply be a yes person, an order taker. And so it's something in the middle where we start to negotiate and we start to bring the great reality of life into the conversation, which is there are trade-offs. So that you can say to your manager, you can say, look, I'm happy to do those 5 projects that you've asked me to do, and you've just asked me to do a 6th one. Okay, I can see that, and maybe I could get that done as well. But what I think would be even better use of my time is if I spent all of my energy on this 1 or 2 projects, because I think that's what really will move the needle. Let's talk about that.